Hi everyone, yasas que to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a classic, comforting Melitzanes Imam. These are eggplants that are roasted until they're buttery soft. They're filled with a delicious homemade sauce that's made with onions and garlic and tomatoes. They're filled with, I like to fill mine with olives, feta cheese, and then topped with more tomatoes. These are so good. They're perfect if you want to serve something that's vegetarian as a main course, or you can serve them as an appetizer at a dinner party. Let me show you how to make them. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin by heating up some oil to fry the eggplants in. These are definitely an indulgent dish to make, but they're so worth it. So I'm going to pour enough olive oil in here to fry 2 eggplants. And I want to make sure that there's some room because once the eggplants go in, I don't want the oil to overflow and cause a fire. So just be careful with that. Get the oil nice and hot. Once it reaches about 365 to 370 degrees Fahrenheit, it's ready. In the meantime, let's prepare the eggplants. You want to get the freshest eggplants that you can find from the supermarket and pierce them all around very carefully with a sharp knife. This is going to keep the eggplants from exploding. You don't want that to happen. So once the oil is nice and hot, carefully put the eggplants in one at a time. If it looks like there's a little bit too much oil in that pan, like mine does, I'm going to carefully take some out. And I could always put it back in, but again, you want to be very careful so that way that pan doesn't overflow. And I should have used a bigger pot for this, but I'll be very careful with this. I've done this before, so I'm sure that this will fit the 2 eggplants in. I'll add them in really carefully. And then I'll just cover it with this screen protector just to keep as little oil as possible off of my stovetop. We'll still have some cleanup to do, but it won't be that bad. The eggplants are going to fry for about 15 minutes until they're nice and tender. Halfway through the cooking time, you're just going to want to go and very carefully flip them over so that way they fry evenly all around. While that's happening, we can prepare the sauce. I usually slice my onions into just half moons, but this time I forgot and I just diced them up. That's totally fine, but you can slice them so that way the sauce can have a little bit texture. You can do it either way. Get the onion in the pot with a little bit of olive oil and cook it until it's nice and soft and golden. That's going to take about 7 to 8 minutes. Then I'm going to go in with about 4 or 5 garlic cloves that are grated. Warm that through until it's fragrant, and then I'll add a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. This has a little bit of seasoning and flavorings in it, so I won't need to add anything else other than a little bit of salt, freshly cracked black pepper, and a little pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. This is just going to heat through until it warms up because it will continue to cook in the oven. I also have 2 tomatoes over here that I'm just going to thinly slice. These are going to be used as the topping. And then I have 2 potatoes. I should have made a whole bed of potatoes for the bottom. Just go ahead and slice them to about 1/2 inch in thickness and put them in the bottom of a baking dish. Season them with some salt and pepper on both sides. And as soon as the eggplant is ready, very carefully take it out of there in a strainer. If you have one of these spider strainers, it's going to help get rid of some of that excess oil. And then just put them over the potatoes that are in the pan. We're going to slice the eggplants down the center just so that way we can season them a little bit with salt and black pepper. And then I'll add some Kalamata olives to this. You can chop up the olives if you want. And if you don't like Kalamata olives, you can leave them out, or you could use your favorite olives in these. Green olives would be really nice in this too. Use whatever you have. Now we're going to top it with that tomato sauce, distribute it evenly between the 2 eggplants, and any leftover can go around the potatoes. Top it with some crumbled feta cheese, and then I'll add the tomato slices over top, and this is ready for the oven. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to bake in there for about an hour until the potatoes are fork tender and the sauce thickens. The eggplants are already tender, but they're going to melt in your mouth once they come out of the oven with that sauce in there. So good. All you need to do is toast up some bread to soak up that sauce and spread the eggplant mixture onto the bread, and it'll be delicious and ready to serve. And just like that, the Melitzanes Imam are ready. Like I said, super soft eggplant topped with that delicious tomato sauce. These are so good. I think you're going to love them. And this is one of those dishes that tastes even better the next day. You can serve this as a cold appetizer too. Just so good. All you need is some sliced toasted bread with this, a nice Greek salad, and you can just put this on the table and everyone can enjoy it. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. The exact measurements and the printable recipe is on the blog, dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and if you have any recipe requests, post them down there and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Yasas.